Oh crap!
Hey guys, I'm Prodigy from Airsoft Team Kilo 23. Welcome to another episode of Inside the Mechbox. Nowadays, there are a lot of airsofters out there with a really tight budget. So this and the next handful of episodes are going to be based on budget upgrading in airsoft guns. So I'm going to be upgrading the two guns that I talked about in the last video. The G&G Combat Machine M4, this is the tan version, and the A&K M4 D1. Now for the G&G, we've got a small line of parts picked out. First off, the Systema Energy Motor, long type. So this will fit pretty well in the M4, it will boost the rate of fire, and it'll be able to pull up to an M140 spring. But it's not going to be pulling an M140 spring, because that's about the max it can do. It's going to be pulling a Systema M120 spring, which should give it about 400 to 420 feet per second, somewhere up in there. Along with that, we're going to throw in a Systema bearing spring guide. After that, we'll install a deep fire aluminum nozzle for the M16 and a chrome plated cylinder by Deep Fire. It's meant for a 200 to 400 millimeter barrel. Now for the A&K M4, we're going to do things a little differently. Instead, we'll be installing 6mm Kanzen bushings. Now to my knowledge, Airsplat is the only place that carries these. Along with that, we'll be installing a Deep Fire M100 spring, a Deep Fire titanium tooth piston, full teeth, so it'll be compatible with the stock gears, an HJFB silent piston head. This is also a part that only Airsplat carries, a Deep Fire aluminum nozzle for the M4, and a Systema Energy cylinder head for the version 2 gearbox. So in this episode, we're going to be working on the G&G Combat Machine M4, and we'll start out by installing the Systema Energy motor inside it. Now right now the gun is totally stock. So let's check out the rate of fire before we install the Systema Energy motor. This is on a 9.6 volt, 1600 milliamp hour nickel metal hydride battery. Alright, we're getting about 10 or 11 rounds a second. That's pretty good. So let's go install the Systema Energy motor and see what we can do. Now before doing internal work, always make sure you remove the battery from your gun, especially when you're just working on the motor. Now the motor is probably the easiest thing to upgrade in your gun if you're just doing that. First of all, I'm going to remove the motor plate here. Now, the G&G M4 Combat Machine uses a special kind of hex key screw compared to most others that use Phillip heads. Now, one screw. There's two. Now you can take a flathead or something, pry off the motor ends, and remove the motor. And we have our Systema Energy motor. You can twist this. It doesn't feel like it has a lot of torque. You can tell it can only really pull about an M140 spring at most, probably. You want to find your negative and positive terminals. Positive always goes to red, negative always goes to black. Now, just drop it in. Press the motor terminals on. Now with those on, you can go ahead and replace the motor grip end. And go ahead and screw those in really tight. Now before you feel the need to pull the trigger, make sure you adjust your motor height. It's pretty easy to tell when it's too tight. It's really hard to turn the screwdriver. And you want to turn it a half turn before that so it can have a little bit of wiggle room. Now with the Systema Energy motor installed, we can go ahead and test the rate of fire. Nothing else has been changed except the motor, not the battery, hasn't been charged or anything. Let's give it a go. That's actually really good. Getting about 14, 15 rounds a second. Lifting up about 3, 4 rounds a second. Now stay tuned for the next episode of Inside the Mechbox. We'll be doing some more budget upgrading, throw some more parts in this thing, and see what we can do to the performance to really up it. I'm Prodigy, Airsoft Team Kilo 23, signing off.